everybody, and welcome to the channel today. I'm trying to hide in trees to keep out of the wind. It's extremely windy. Now, as you know, we had this heavy storm while I was on holiday, and it did a lot of destructive things, so I'm just going to check around. Now, the usual area that we visit, p.1, is that direction, behind your camera viewpoint. So what I'm looking at is the other area where I gift, and it's just it's the area I would call p.1 North. So we'll see just how this has been affected. Okay. So this part has been really chewed up by the forestry people who have been cutting down a lot of the trees. About 2 years ago there was an area which is up to the right, and I'll show you as we come along. And I get through here, it's easy. I never like treading in all this swampy stuff. There we go. So that was the damage done by Storm Arwen over there 2 years ago. So here we're seeing like a 2-yearly change. I once hid in this little bit of forest from people with their dogs. I'm hiding in the trees. You can see that on an old video. So there's quite a few new structures down there. Alright. So there was an area where I had done some research, and it was off to the right here, and this is an area where you could clearly see eyes in all of the trees, crystal clear. I can't remember what the video was called. Anyway, that part of the forest where I did that research was a large area. There was a big structure which was clearly the sign of Gemini. Lots of structures which were related to constellations, which would be through this gap here. And you can see right in the distance, I'll zoom in on it if I can. There we are. In the distance, the track goes off to the left. You can just see right in the centre of the part, in the trees, it goes off to the left. Every ounce of forest that was on that left-hand side has now been completely flattened. Thank you to our friends at the Forestry Commission, which they're entitled to. This is a crop. It is a crop. So this forest here, just a small area, this had some very, very strong energy in it, and some very clear, now let me see if I can get in here, very clear stickery. Let's see if I can get in. Now, the stickery thing, everybody ignores. Can I get into this gap? Fat person alert! Let me in! I'm just joking. Right, let me get in here. This is all slimy and horrible and horrid and hateful. Right, here we go. Here we are. So I have spotted a channel which is called Australian Yowie Research. AYR, look it up. They do things methodically. They're looking at the same stuff as I am. They have come across all of these structures, which I'm hopefully going to show you. Here we are. Now they have all of this kind of stickery, and they've also come across, which I find fascinating, they have also come across the pointless sticks, which I have been talking about now for about 4 years. Pointless sticks put down for no reason at all. So look how close we are to the trail just through there. You can just see, what, 4 trees away? And I've just come off the other side of the trail there. So it meets in a V up here, straight ahead, and heads up to where I'm parked eventually. So just check all this out. See how all of these sticks, they're now completely stripped. They weren't when we first came because they were so fresh. And amazingly enough, this one here on the ground, does that look like an arrow? And it points into that little bit of forest there. It's fascinating, isn't it? So I'm trying not to stand on any of it because this is an area which first dawned on me was the nursery. This is an area where they are teaching. Now you often see, this is Futhark, this is clearly Futhark, and some of it is constellations. So you often see the windmill. I'm going to show you the windmill here. Try and hold the camera up high there, higher. This doesn't fall by itself. Think about it. These trees, okay, so this one's on a tilt here and it's probably just fallen naturally. I'm talking about that one there. So it's on a tilt. And I take that. You can see all the big trees in the background. They look like they're a giant X, but they've just fallen through wind. But this, in these patterns, no. Who goes around, shall we say, breaking low-level breaks like this? Now let's look. Let's be logical about this. What else has fallen to create that? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Point the stick there. That's one of many. One of many. So there's the windmill shape. So I'm pointing you guys, I'm pointing you to the Australian Yowie research. Yowie is the Australian version of Bigfoot. Okay? These are not sensationalist. They're looking at what they see. I've been watching their channels for some time, and they're, funny enough, they're researching in areas that I have had experiences regarding the Yowie as well. So here we go again, a low-level break. Let's see what else fell on that to create that break. Any idea? Correct. Absolutely nothing. Now, if you remember up at the old gifting site of Moonmoth, there were structures which I referred to as Netflix because they look like telecommunications. But they are growing, they're not pointless sticks like this, it's rooted in the ground. But the top of it has gone. When they're no longer in use, they snap the top off. You won't find the top. And again, what have we here? That looks like a wigwam shape, can you see that? In the centre. And this here, horizontal one here. It's like part of the Bluetooth sign. Interesting. Very interesting. If I look at it from this side, again, it's this triangular kind of energy. You see it now? If I snap here. So through all of this, if you do not set foot inside the forest and don't walk around it, you miss all this. All these people that are walking on the trails with the binoculars out, whooping, calling out for Bigfoot. Cooey, Mr. Bigfoot. You're not going to see anything. In fact, they're a source of entertainment for the Bigfoot people as well as for us. There's a lovely bit of pointless stickery. Tiny one, but pointless stick. Now they go into some detail about the pointless sticks, which I did about 2 or 3 years ago. Every time I came across them, I pulled them out the ground. And as I said at the time, they're not going to fall there naturally. They've been placed. Wow, 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 wow. Now this is interesting. Because in Fothark, this kind of thing, so you've got a vertical, see the vertical there? And then see the horizontal at an angle. I'll show you here, talking about this stick here and this one going down. I've seen quite a lot at Dragonfly at that area, and in fact I saw 3 in a row, perfectly in a row. They were a lot taller than that. They were taller than me, inside a forest. And that was in an area where Hoftada was. Hoftada was a woodwose. If you remember, we spoke to him. I spoke to him. At first he was contrary, and then I decided I needed to go back and communicate properly with just him, not as him being part of anything else. He was an interesting, very, very old soul. So again, we have more pointless sticks like this beside a nice big tree like that. Now, nothing has fallen on that. That's the stick beside it. That is not going to pull that down. Not in a month of Sundays. Now here we go. Look at this pointless stick. Let me come over here. Now it's all dirty and slimy. I'm not going to pull it out the ground, but it's at an angle in the ground. Doesn't belong there. Well, I could show you actually. I don't like getting slimy hands. Just pull it out. It's only in the ground a small distance. And this is what the AYR, the Australian Yowie Research, are finding out as they're going along trails. They've explored trails before, and then they come back to them and they find a lot of pointless stickery. And it could be that it's like, yes, we are here, you can follow these sticks if you like. Or it could be their own guidance system for younger ones to find their way. But also they communicate with animals. Oh look, there's a very familiar sign we see frequently over here. Like this weird N shape. Part of Fothark. If you like, I'll put the Fothark signs back up for you. So this is communication area again. Look at that. Can you see that view? It's quite interesting. They're not just casually thrown down. Oh look, all these trees have fallen down randomly. I don't think so. Random breaks there. Directly beside one there. Going out in almost like a V shape. So look from here. This goes in that direction. This one goes in that direction. So imagine bringing the two together. Okay, so the points here, if I can show you, the point there and the point there. Imagine if they met here, like this. They both connected. Where would they meet? Ooh. Would it be there? You see what I mean? So these things, I was told, this is like communication system. So for you and I, we're in the 3D, and when you channel spirit, when you channel with these guys, we step into a 5D, right? So imagine another dimension, might be the 5D dimension, where I'm standing here talking amongst trees, but within their dimension, I might be standing here and have an audience full of spirit, people, beings, woodwoes, Shanu peoples, fae, elfin, all types of beings of which we know about and which we do not know about. I may be in amongst a whole audience here. So what we could say is, hello. We can't see them, they can see us, but we can't see them. How does that sound? Expand your mind, folks. I never cease to be amazed, she says, standing on a tree, under a tree. First class idiot, a widowmaker they call that. I never cease to be amazed by serendipitous things. We saw that shape over to my right, which was a bit like an arrow. What do you think about this? Do you think that's arrow-shaped? Interesting how all that bark is now stripped off. Now that could easily be animals, but I think there's something else in that, and I think it's to do with the energy of the way the trees fall, and the energy creates the bark to strip, because you don't actually see the bark lying on the ground surrounding it. So I'm just trying to find an angle here, a decent angle here, to show you. So we've got this and here, we've got this huge right angle here, which we've shown before. It's like an opening. In Further Arc it means an opening across there. Then within that you've got like a triangular shape here. Then you've got another one across. So look at the parallels. So there's a triangle here. Then you've got another triangle here, across there. See what I mean? And then we could say that this is a form of a triangle up here, across there, there. This is a form of a triangle. Triangle within a triangle, within a triangle. Across the other side, there's that there. What is a star made up of? A series of triangles, is it not? One of the first things that we learnt was that these guys are star people. They live by the stars, they observe the stars. But I think there's more to it than that. And that will be revealed as and when they feel necessary. So, again, tree stumps with this on. It might be just my imagination, but I often see old tree stumps like that, mossed over, grassed over, cones, fir cones placed on them. Like I say, it could be just my imagination. And I look down here, and what have we? Just my imagination. It happens to be in an X shape. A pointless stick. Now that's quite some length. That's nearly 2 meters long, just over 2 yards long in imperial measurements. And this here. It's filigree work, but it's the windmill again. One that goes across there. underneath it, this one here. See that? And underneath that, this one, which runs here, all placed upon this one here. So I'm going to ask you, how often do you see stickery like that falling naturally, but just happens to be in that shape? How often? Answers on a postcard, please. Good Lord, there's a rarity. The sun has decided to come out. Had to go onto Google just to see what the sun looked like. Now I know some of you have been having big falls of snow in the States. Well, I hope that you stay safe and that you stay warm. Now the Forestry Commission will only clear these fallen trees if they happen to be in their way. They won't clear them because they happen to be in my way or any other walker's way. See how much water we've had. All of this is chock-a-block full of water, like a swamp. It gets worse. There's more trees along here. I don't know if I can get through this one. It's amazing. There's been lots of changes and in the world, and I think we can all change the energy. We can all become beacons of light if we want to. Every country, every continent has got problems at the moment. I think I should exclude Australia. They may have political problems, but they haven't quite got the issues that we have with immigration, both in Europe and in the United States of America. Sorry about this. Oh dear. So every country has issues like that. At the moment within Europe, Africa and Asia, Arabic Asia, is moving en masse into Europe. You've got southern border issues in America. It's the world is in a terrible state. What? I'm done. I'm gonna have to go around the other way. This is my usual entrance, but look at this. I'm gonna have to come around the other way. I think that's impossible. Bugger me, look at that. Holy heck. So that's what paid to me coming this way. Right, back to square one. Right, turning around, going back. I usually walk the loop round to come, it's actually in that direction, but I'm now going to find a track which may be, I'm not sure, it might go all the way around. Who knows? So, one of the things that I want to try and do, I don't know what you feel about this, you may already have been doing it, is lighting a candle. I do so every evening, and putting an intention with that candle, because that candle shows out light. It gives you light, small light, and if we could shine that light around the world and ask that all these troubled countries, and I name them one by one, year in, year out, it's the same players. But we have Russia, energies of Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestinians. That has gone on ever since I've been a brat, really. Years and years. Years and years. The same energy, same karmic energy. And you know it's karmic energy. It's never ending. And if we can all, wherever we live, whether you live in Canada, whether you live in Barbados, I do have some viewers in Barbados, whether you live in this country, in the United Kingdom, or whether you live in Canada, the United States of America, Australia, New Zealand, doesn't matter. All that energy shines a light. We can create a light, and you may not think it works, but it does, and that's one of our purposes, is to create light. What's that campfire song? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Well, we want to put light into all the darkest areas, because there's a lot of people, mainly, might I said, sorry guys, male, will not sit around the table, will not discuss their differences. Come on, just sit down and talk. And if we can send some light their way, and I'm not going to use the phrase that is often thrown away, oh, love and light, oh, love and light, oh, love and light. No, I'm serious. It's about using that energy. Single candlelight, doesn't matter if it's a tea light, that's what I use, a tea light, and just ask the universe to magnify the light so that all the darkest corners are lit, so these people can see there's an alternative, because they're, you know, at the moment we appear to be quietly in a third world war. It's not good. And it may be that you might think to yourself, well, that's just a blade of grass. What we need, what we need is a whole prairie. Well, each blade of grass makes a prairie. So come on, let's do it. That's what I'm asking. Now, I've got to walk right round this block, and it's starting to piddle with rain. The joys. Well, so far, this hasn't been a bad entrance. It's, so far it's clear, but there's not many human beings around here, but we always know when human beings are in the vicinity. How do we know? I'll show you. This kind of crap, it drives me nuts. Why can't they take their rubbish home? It's not hard, it's not difficult, and yes, they're going to be hot. Their barbecue trays, you know, you should think of that. It drives me insane. It doesn't take much to look after this planet. In our own environment, they've come here because they enjoy the countryside. Why spoil it? Anyway, onwards and upwards. So I keep having a look inside the forests that line the track, the trail, whatever you want to call it, the forestry track. You've got three parallel sticks there, We're back to stickery again, and I think we ignore it. We haven't on this channel. I'm afraid I haven't ignored it. I have gone at length about it because I believe it's significant. Look at that. Filigree work, pointless stick. It's about just over a yard long. Let's follow it down to the ground. It's just sticking in the ground. Doesn't grow there. You don't have the thin end growing in the ground and the fat end growing up here that's been snapped off. And yeah, look how close to the track we are here, right beside it. Any shapes anyone recognises there? Well, we saw a similar shape to that in reverse at the other place. Do you think that's coincidental shape? What's over there? Okay, got to be careful of this tree. I've just stood in a hollow area of a tree and nearly went down to my knees. You know, where the roots have given over. And look, a pyramid trident. Look, just look. 1, 2 leaning towards the right, creating a little pyramid there. Wowza. Wowza, have we got any more? Careful not to walk in these because I think they have their own energy. Look at that. Again, the bark is stripped, bent at a low level, nothing else fallen across it that can bring it down. Nothing at all. But yet it's bent about 4 inches off the ground. Oh look, again, more energy. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. I think this is all to lead us in, so we all start to see it. We've seen it. The Australian guys, they've seen it. I'm not sure. People in the States, you talk about glyphs. You definitely talk about glyphs. But seeing this hung about, wow. That's my foot there. I'm just looking at that. If I didn't know better, I would say they were toe-shaped. Do I see any more? No. And this is something that I've seen so often. Single footprints. I mean, what do people do? Do they hop? Just one footprint. And I believe that it's just to draw our attention. I'm going to show you something else here as well. All right. Look at that. There's another one there. I'm going to start turning around here. And we're in a circle. We are in a perfect circle. Another one here. Going to do a full 360. Back to where we started. So I think they want us to notice this with the trees and with the stickery, the glyphs. They want us to notice them. The Aussies have, we have. Everybody needs to try and stick to the same page. Wow, this is just bizarre. Just before, I was drawn to this area, clearly drawn to this area, because one of these trees That is bloody bizarre. Excuse my very elegant French. That is just bizarre. One of these trees are now standing over here, and I started to make my way through the trees because I saw one of these trees had a band, like a light band right around it. An area, say, from here to here at about that height. And I actually think it was that tree. But that's bizarre. That's just ridiculous. It's not there. It's not there anymore. I have to go back to where I was. Oh, pointless stick. Oh. Right, I've just asked a Fenian. I've just said, can you help me on that? Because I know what I saw. And I don't see it now. Where's that footprint? It's over here. I was looking over in... Here's my footprint. I was looking over in that direction. Well, that's bizarre. It was bright, like... almost like there was a light shining on it. Well, you can see how much light there is in this forest. So what was I being drawn to? So what a Fenian is just saying to me, it was so that we would be drawn to this area, drawn over there. So it would be drawn in that direction. It says, and you'll remember it because it's going to be useful in the future. Okay, right. I'm on my way out of that little area. Again, remember the filigree work I showed you before? Here it is. So as it stands, I'm probably going to split this video into 2 parts and make part 1 and part 2. So we'll go on to our other area where we've gifted, which is over there if the footpath allows us. So I'm asking a Fenian at what point some of this stickery, the information that we see, at what point it will be of use to us. And I'm getting the sense that all will be revealed in good time. Oh dear. I can remember my parents saying that all good things come to those who wait. Wrong answer.